All right, so if you're watching this video, you want to know, should you pick up the Momentum 4s, or maybe you're an active person like me and should you check out the Momentum Sports? Now, Sennheiser delivered a very unique product with both of these offerings. Obviously, the Momentum 4s are tailored to those audiophiles, while the Sennheiser Sports, with their design, improved IP rating, I'm getting ahead of myself, but these are just better headphones for an active person. So I'm going to give you a quick unboxing, a spec breakdown, obviously my opinions. And if it's your first time here, my name's Fredo. I'm a hybrid athlete here in New York City. That means I run and box, I swim, I do yoga, and I lift weights. So these buds, the Sports, should technically be the perfect headphones for me. And that being said, I don't test these earbuds like other reviewers. I'm not just sitting at my desk. I'm actually using these in New York City on the subway, loud noises, babies crying, crazy homeless people trying to kill me. So I really put them through their paces. That being said, right off the bat, if you're considering the Sports over the Momentum 4s, there are some things you have to be aware of because they kind of handicap these buds when it comes to some features and the fit. The fit is very interesting. It's definitely better than the Momentum 4s. So let's answer those questions. Which one of these buds is the right bud for you? Let's get into it. Starting off the comparison with the cases, obviously they are very different. One of these cases is an ugly fabric case, and then this one is a liquid silicone kind of case that's more water resistant. Also, the size is obviously different. One is larger than the other, but the overall volume, as you can see, the Momentum Sports is very skinny, while this one is kind of chunky. So this means that this case fits better in your pocket or your running shorts. That being said, this coating on the Sports picks up all the lint in your pocket, so be aware of that. Both feature USB-C charging on the front. This one's protected by a little lip. They have wireless charging on the bottom. And I like the Sport case because it's very clear because of this indentation right there that this is the front of the case and it opens up very nicely. That being said, there's so many times you can watch all the reviews on YouTube. People have the Momentum 4s and they have them backwards, and they try to open them and then they flip it this way and then they open it like this. Oh, I gotta mention that this case the lid is very flimsy, not flimsy in a bad way, just be aware. Like, you don't wanna give this too much tear or push because it probably will rip. So far it's holding up pretty nicely. Oh yeah, also you have the lanyard holes right there. So definitely a nicer case on the Sports, especially if you're an active person. So let's move these boxes out of the way. And let's pull out the buds and then run you through the specs side by side. The bud ergonomics are different. The Momentum 4s have very hard edges. As you can see right here, all hard edges. This part in particular right here, when it sits in my ear, it causes discomfort. The Momentum Sports have a more rounded design. It kind of reminds me of a larger XM5. And because of that rounded design, it fits better in your ear. Now, as you can see, I don't have the wing on this one because the wing makes it very uncomfortable. It just pushes it into your ear too much and it actually hurts. So I don't use these with the wings. I would not recommend. Now, the other differentiating factor between this is the Sport has a 10mm driver, which is 2mm bigger than the Momentum 4. The Momentum 4 has an 8mm driver. That means that technically on paper, this should sound better. The Sport should sound better than the Momentum. But further on in the video, we'll talk about the EQ ability of these buds and how that differs as well. The Momentum Sports give you an IP55 rating, while the Momentum 4s give you an IP54. Honestly, not too different there, unless you're really like running through the desert. You're allegedly getting Bluetooth 5.3 on the Momentum 4s, but if I show you the box right here, the box says Bluetooth 5.3 on there, so I don't think it's Bluetooth 5.4 yet. It will support it eventually, allegedly, and this is how they're positioning these buds for people. They're like future-proof. The Momentum Sports, they kind of handicap with Bluetooth 5.2, which is kind of annoying. But that being said, I didn't have any issues with the multi-point or connectivity or dropouts or anything. And if you care about it, the Momentum 4s support low latency audio. That being said, they both support Qualcomm aptX, aptX Adaptive, and AAC. So you're getting the same codecs as there. And just because you guys might ask, they have the same number of mics. And that being said, the mic placements are almost identical. The Momentum Sports have a grill. If you can see that grill kind of should protect better than the Momentum 4s. If you can see right there, that dot. They both suffer from getting lots of wind noise shuffled into the buds. Not as bad on the Sports. If I do a light jog on the Momentum 4s, the wind noise kills my ears. This one's a little bit better. Also, you can see at the top, it has that little vent there for occlusion. And then, yeah, the obvious thing, these aren't the stock tips, by the way, but yeah, the obvious thing is that you're paying more for the Momentum Sports smart sensors. Smart sensors, like you saw earlier, they track your heart rate and your temperature. And that's pretty much, oh, there it goes again. See it there. And that's kind of the extent of the physical characteristics and the specs of the buds. The real differentiator is going to be in the app. So we're going to start with the Momentum 4s. Now, if you already have the Momentum 4s, you're probably familiar with this, but they have the sound personalization feature, which essentially is what gives this such good audio quality that people lust over. I don't think it's that great. And then when it comes to the adaptive noise canceling, you have on, anti-wind, and off, and then you have a transparency mode that's adjustable by level. And these are unique to the Momentum 4s. The Momentum 4s have the on mode, the off mode, the anti-wind, and varying levels of transparency, and the sound personalization feature. That technically makes the Momentum 4s more customizable for people who want to tweak their audio to their exact liking. All right, so when you open up those sports, obviously the first thing you're gonna see is the sports sensors, because that's how they're selling it as. It's getting my body temperature right there. It's flashing green, if you can see between my fingers. You have the equalizer option. Now this equalizer option is where you can tweak it to be however you want it to sound, but there is no sound personalization. And as you can see right here, you have ANC, anti-wind, and transparency, but there is no degree of sensitivity for you to adjust on these buds. And there is no off mode, which kind of drives me crazy, and some people might agree with me. No off mode is kind of bad. All right, I stand corrected. I just loaded it up. The transparency mode is adjustable from high, medium, and low. It's just buried in the app. Now, instead of sound personalization, what you do is you get sound check, and it's kind of weird because it is this wavy graph that you have to select from versus the Momentum 4s, which is a different type of interface. And again, I'm pretty sure they did that to differentiate these products. All right, so let's figure out which one of these you should pick up if you're in between them. All right, so there you go. Those are the specs for these buds. Obviously, Sennheiser is a multi-million-dollar company, and they kind of have to protect their best interests when it comes to developing products. And that's self-evident in the choices that they use to make these buds, whether it's the materials, the specs, handicap. The most important thing for you to know is that if you're an active person, the Momentum Sports are a better option. They're a better option, even though they're more expensive. I don't know if you care about that heart rate tracking and those health features. If these go on sale, they're even more worth it. The wing really doesn't add any stability and comfort for me. If anything, it added pain. It was very uncomfortable to use these buds after a prolonged period of time. I still am not a Sennheiser fanboy. I do not like the Momentum 4s, whether it's the shape, whether it's the feature set, whether it's the sound quality, just never really did anything for me. So be very decisive when it comes to your purchasing decision. Don't buy wrong. I have so many people in the comments that say, Fredo, I wish I watched your video before making a purchase. Every day I regret buying these earbuds. And I understand, for me, I do this for a living. So me spending $300, $400 on a pair of buds means nothing, because I make the money back when you guys watch these videos. And even though it's an expensive hobby, I have a $2,000 camera with a $700 lens, a $500 audio recorder, a $200 mic, thousands of dollars in lights that you can see around you, a monitor, computer. So this is like nothing. These purchases are nothing to me, but I still value the dollar. You don't want, the worst thing you can do, absolutely worst thing, one of my biggest pet peeves is spending money on something that sucks. My parents always told me, you're gonna have to spend the money. Don't not spend the money. Spend the money on something that's worth it. So buy it once and buy it right. I hope that I answered all the questions that you have. If you have any additional questions, leave it in the comments below. I respond to 70% of the comments you guys have. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out other headphone reviews. That's like my niche on this channel. I have reviews of literally every headphone you can think of. Let's get those watch times up, and I'll see you in the next one.